Education Department of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. So today we are going to continue with the topic of study of sounds, right? That is for class 9th subject of science, right? So today is the fourth session, and in this we are going to be finishing off the chapter and completing and seeing the numericals, the different types of numericals that are there in the chapter, right? My name is Vishal Sudhir Chaudhary. I am from the Kurar Village MPS English Secondary School. Okay, now these are topics that we have completed in the chapter, right? Now let's go through what all content that we have done through the chapter, right? So the topics like definition of sound, properties of sound waves, then longitudinal waves, transverse waves, characteristic of sound waves, velocity of sound, variation in velocity of sound, then audible, infrasound and ultrasound, reflection of sound, echo and reverberation, then sonar and sonography, and human ear are the different topics that we have done in this chapter, right? Now let us go briefly and try to understand and revise all of these topics again, right? So first of all, we'll talk about the definition of sound. So sound is a form of energy which creates a sensation of hearing in our ears, and sound travels in the form of waves, and a medium is necessary for the propagation of the waves. Sound waves give rise to a chain of compression and rarefaction in the medium. Okay, so as you can see in the animation here, sound waves travel in the form of waves where the particles are vibrating and oscillating back and forth, right? And you can see the compressions and rarefactions which are alternating, they are moving in the form of a wave. Okay, then next we studied was the velocity of sound. So distance covered by a point on the wave in unit time is a velocity of the sound wave, right? So we know that velocity is given by distance upon time. So any point on the sound wave covers a distance equal to lambda, that is wavelength, in time t, that is a time period, right? So we can use the formula velocity of the sound wave is equal to frequency into wavelength. Okay, so we are going to be using these formulas today. Okay, so we can also write down velocity of sound to be equal to wavelength upon time period as wavelength as your frequency is 1 by t. Okay, then we also saw the variation in velocity of the sound, right? So we should know, or we already know, that the velocity of sound in air depends on various environmental factors, right? And also on the properties of the medium in which the sound is moving. The first one is your variation in temperature, right? So velocity of sound is directly proportional to the square root of the temperature. Then velocity of sound is inversely proportional to the square root of density, and velocity of sound is inversely proportional to square root of molecular weight. Okay, then we saw the types of sound, right? Out of that, the first one is audible sound. So audible sounds are the ones which humans can hear. Okay, so audible sounds is a frequency range from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Then the next one is infrasound. Infrasounds have a frequency lower than 20 hertz, and ultrasounds have a frequency higher than 20,000 hertz, right? Humans cannot hear infrasounds and ultrasounds. Then next also we saw about the phenomena of reflection of sound, where sound obeys the various laws of reflection. Then about echo. So an echo is a repetition of the original sound because of reflection from some surface, right? So you might have experienced the phenomena of an echo when you might have visited a hill station, right? So at 22 degrees Celsius, the velocity of sound in air is 344 meters per second, right? Our brain retains this sound for 0.1 second. So whenever any sound enters our ears and reaches the brain, it is retained for 0.1 seconds, right? So thus, for us to be able to hear a distinct echo, the sound should take more than 0.1 seconds after starting from the source to get reflected and come back to us. We can determine the minimum distance between the source and the reflecting surface, right, by using the formula distance equal to speed into time, where speed is 344 meters per second and the time interval is 0.1 seconds, right? So the distance that we obtain is 34.4 meters. That means the sound wave has to travel from the source to the reflecting surface and then back to the source, right? The total distance needs to be 34.4 meters. So the minimum distance between the source and the reflecting surface should be 74 should be 17.2 meters for us to hear a clear echo, right? Then we saw the concept of reverberation, right, which is an unwanted phenomena that arises due to the reflection of sound in a closed environment. Okay, so sound waves get reflected from the walls and roof of a room multiple times. Repeated reflections of sound waves from the walls combine to build up what seems like a continuous sound, which we do not desire. This causes a single sound to be heard not once but continuously. This is called as reverberation, right? Then we saw the concept of sonar, where sonar stands for sound navigation and ranging. It is used to determine the direction, distance, and speed of an underwater object with the help of ultrasonic sound waves. Sonar has a transmitter and a receiver which are fitted on the bottom part of a ship or a boat. Okay. Then the transmitter produces and transmits ultrasonic sound waves, and these waves travel to the water, strike underwater objects, and get reflected by them. And these waves, these reflected waves, are received by the receiver on the ship, right? And the computer analyzes, right, and gives a picture of the underwater environment. Okay. Then we saw the concept of sonography. Now, sonography is a technology which uses ultrasonic sound waves to generate images of internal organs of the human body. This is useful in finding out the causes of certain problems like swelling, infections, pain, etc. So the condition of the heart, the state of the heart after a heart attack, as well as the growth of fetus inside the womb of a pregnant woman, right, are studied using sonography. Then these techniques make use of a probe and a gel, and the gel is used to make proper contact between the skin and the probe so that the full capacity of the ultrasound can be utilized, right? So sonography is a very important method as it is a painless method. So nowadays, more and more of the medical professionals are making use of sonography, right, to do correct the medical diagnosis. Okay. Yes, as you can see, right, that these such kind of images can be obtained, right? So the gel is applied to the skin outside the internal organ to be studied. High frequency sound is transmitted inside the body with the help of a probe, right? The sound reflected by the internal organ is again collected by the probe and fed to a computer which generates the images of the internal organ, right? So as I've already told, this method is painless and is used in medical practice for correct diagnosis of the diseases. Okay. Then the last part of the chapter that we studied was about the human ear, right? So human ear is an important organ of the human body. We hear sounds because of our ear. So when sound falls on the waves, when sound waves fall on the eardrum, it vibrates. So these vibrations are converted into electrical signals which travel to the brain through the nerves. So as you can see the figure, our ear is divided into three regions: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. Right? So that diagram needs to be studied carefully. Okay. Then now let us study the different numericals that we need to go through today. Right? So let us first talk about numerical example number 1. Right? How long will it take for a sound wave of 25 centimeter wavelength and 1.5 kilohertz frequency to travel a distance of 1.5 kilometers? Right? So first of all, let us write down the given data from the numerical example, right? The first one is frequency, right? Frequency is given by the symbol nu. Okay, so frequency equals to 1.5 kilohertz. Now you have to convert all of these units into SI units, where SI unit of our frequency is hertz, and 1 kilohertz is 1000 hertz, right? So it will be 1.5 kilohertz equals to 1.5 into 10 raised to 3 hertz. Okay, the next given quantity is wavelength lambda. It is 25 centimeters. Again, we will convert from centimeters into meters. That will be 0.25 meters. Okay. Then distance S is equal to 1.5 kilometers. We know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. So it will be 1.5 into 10 raised to 3 meters, right? So we need to calculate the time required for that wave to travel a distance of 1.5. So for us to measure the time required, first of all, we'll have to calculate the velocity, right, of the sound wave. Okay. So we know that velocity of the sound wave equals to frequency into wavelength. So V equals to nu into lambda, right? So from the above given terms, we can substitute in the formula. So V equals to 1.5 into 10 raised to 3 into 0.25. So that will be V equals to 0.375 into 10 raised to 3, that equals to 375 meters per second, right? So first of all, we have obtained the velocity of the sound. Now we will make use of this term, the velocity of sound, to calculate the time required for that wave to travel a distance of 1.5 kilometers, right? Let us move on, right? So we know that speed equals to distance upon time, or velocity equals to distance upon time. So if you can rearrange the formula, it becomes time equals to distance upon velocity. So T equals to S upon V, right? So we know that the distance traveled is 1.5 kilometers. That equals to 1.5 into 10 raised to 3 meters whole divided by the velocity, that is 375 meters per second, right? So on calculation, it gives us 1500 divided by 375, that equals to 4 seconds. So thus the sound wave takes 4 seconds to travel a distance of 1.5 kilometers. Now, if you can see and analyze this numerical again, this numerical is solved in two parts. So in the first part, we have calculated the velocity of sound, right, from the given values of frequency and wavelength. Once we have obtained the value of velocity of sound, then we have substituted it in the formula of velocity equals to distance upon time, right? And thereby we have obtained the value of time required. Okay. Now let us look into the second numerical. Okay. What does it say? Ultrasonic sound waves are transmitted downwards into the sea with the help of a sonar, the sonar device. Okay. The reflected sound is received after 4 seconds. So once the ultrasonic sound waves are sent downward into the sea, right, they are received again by the receiver of the sonar device after 4 seconds. Fine. What are they asking? What is the depth of the sea at that place? Okay. So they have also given a quantity, velocity of sound in sea water equal to 1550 meters per second. Okay. So they have given us only two quantities. One is the time required for the sound wave to go up to the sea floor and back again, that is 4 seconds. And the velocity of the sound in water is that they have given, that is 1550 meter per second. Okay. So first of all, we'll write down the given. So given equals to, or given is velocity of sound in sea water equals to 1550 meters per second. The time for the echo to be heard is 4 seconds. Why are we call it as echo? Because sonar is also based on the concept of echo. Okay, because the wave is going from the receiver and excuse me, and reflecting from the sea floor. Okay, so time taken by the sound wave to reach the bottom of the sea will be what? Will be what? The total time divided by 2. Why? Because the time that they have given 4 seconds is for the total back and forth motion, that is from the transmitter up to the sea floor and back to the receiver. Okay, so the time required for the sound wave to reach the bottom of the sea will be half of the time given, that is 4 upon 2, right? That equals to 2 seconds. Okay, so now we can use our formula. Velocity of sound equals to distance upon time. So we need to calculate what? The depth of the sea. That is, we need to know the distance. So distance equals to velocity of sound into time. The velocity of the sound that is given is 1550 meter per second multiplied by 4. That equals to 3100 meters. That should be 2 over there, right? 1550 multiplied by 2, right? It is a mistake here. Okay, so it should be 1550 multiplied by 2. That equals to 3100 meters. Okay, so depth of the sea at that place is 3100 meters. Okay, then let us look into the next example. That is a numerical example from our exercise. Okay, so the numerical example number 2 and 3, they are not there in the current syllabus, right? So we will move on directly into the exercise numericals, right? What do they say, or what do they ask? The speed of sound in air at 0 degrees Celsius is 332 meters per second. If it increases at the rate of 0.6 meter per second per degree, what will be the temperature when the velocity has increased to 344 meter per second? Now, first of all, you need to understand the question. Okay. The question is, first of all, they have given us the velocity of sound in air at 0 degrees Celsius. Fine. So the velocity being 332 meter per second at 0 degrees. Okay. Now what is happening exactly is the speed of the sound increases at the rate of 0.6 meter per second per degree. That means when the temperature goes from 0 degrees Celsius to 1 degree Celsius, right, the velocity of the sound will increase by 0.6 meter per second. That means at 1 degree Celsius, the velocity of sound will be 332.6 meters per second, as it is increasing by 0.6, right? When the temperature becomes 2 degrees Celsius, it increases by a further 0.6 meter per second. So at 2 degrees Celsius, it will be 333.2 meter per second, right? The question that they have asked is, what will be the temperature when the velocity has increased to 344 meters per second? Now let us look into the solution. The speed of sound in air at 0 degrees Celsius is 332 meters per second. So if it increases at the rate of 0.6 meter per second per degree, then speed at x degrees Celsius, means the temperature that we need to calculate at x degrees Celsius, will be equal to 332 plus 0.6 multiplied by x degrees Celsius, right? Okay. Now, then speed at x degrees Celsius is how many? That is 344. So 340, if you substitute this, so 344 equals to 332 plus 0.6 times x, right? So on rearranging, we get 344 minus 332 equals 0.6x, right? Okay. So 344 minus 332 will be 12, and 12 equals to 0.6x. Therefore, x is equal to 12 divided by 0.6, right? The value of temperature will be 20 degrees Celsius. So the temperature of air will be 20 degrees Celsius when the velocity of sound is 344 meters per second. Okay. Then let us look into the second example, example 5b. Okay. Now, Neeta heard the sound of lightning 4 seconds after seeing it. What is the distance of the lightning from her? And the given is the velocity of sound in air is 340 meters per second. Now you should understand that whenever a lightning strikes, you happen to see the flash of the lightning at the same instant. Why? Because light moves in a very, very high velocity. That is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second. In short, the light travels at about 3 lakh kilometers per second, right? So the lightning, or whenever a lightning strikes, the flash of the light you see instantaneously. There is no time delay. Okay, at least on Earth. Okay, so you immediately happen to see the lightning strike, but the sound, the bang of the lightning, the thunder, you listen to it after a certain time interval. Why? Because of the velocity of sound in air is much slower than the velocity of the light. Okay, so as in this case, the velocity of sound in air is given to be 340 meters per second, right? So we can calculate from the velocity of sound the distance from us where the lightning has struck the earth. Okay, so let us see the solution. Let the distance between Neeta and the source of lightning be x. Now, sound in air, the speed of sound in air is 340 meters per second. So time taken by the sound to reach Neeta is 4 seconds. So we can make use of the formula. Speed is equal to distance upon time. Therefore, distance will be equal to speed into time. That is, distance equal to velocity of sound multiplied by time. So velocity of sound that they have given is 340 meters per second multiplied by time. That is 4. So you get a value of 1,360 meters. So the distance of the lightning from Neeta was 1,360 meters. Okay. Then look at the third numerical, right? Now, third numerical is in 2 parts because there are 2 sub questions there. Let us see what they have given. Now, Sunil is standing between 2 walls. Okay, so Sunil is standing at a location where there are 2 walls and he's standing in between those 2 walls. Okay, the wall closest to him is at a distance of 360 meters. Okay, so one of the walls, which is the closest, is at a distance of 360 meters, and the other wall is at a distance that is greater than 360 meters, but it is on the other side. Okay, so if he shouts, he hears the first echo after 4 seconds. Now, the first echo will be coming from the closest wall. The closest wall is at a distance of 360 meters, right? So the first echo he's getting from the wall, which is at a 360 meters distance from him, and it takes 4 seconds. The other sound wave or the other echo he hears after 2 seconds, that is a total of 6 seconds. Okay, what have they asked? What is the velocity of sound in air in the first question? And secondly, what is the distance between the 2 walls? Right. Now we know the distance of the first wall from Sunil is 360 degrees. We need to calculate distance of the second wall from Sunil, and then you can just add up the two values. Let us look into the first solution. Okay, first one. Time to hear the first echo is 4 seconds. Distance traveled by the sound in these 4 seconds equals to 360 into 2, right? Whole times meters. Now, why have we taken it twice? Because the wall is at a distance of 360 meters. And because he's hearing an echo after 4 seconds, the sound wave has to travel the first 360 meters and then come back again 360 meters, right? So it will be twice of 360. So speed of sound is given by distance upon time. So distance that the sound wave has traveled is 360 multiplied by 2. Time taken is 4 seconds. So we can obtain the velocity of sound as 180 meters per second. Okay, right? So we have first of all obtained the first answer. The first solution is 180 meters per second. We will now talk about the second solution. Now, time taken to hear the second echo is 2 seconds more than the first echo. That is 4 plus 2. That equals to 6 seconds. Abhi distance traveled in these 6 seconds is also the twice, the same way as before, right? So that will be 2x. Now, speed of sound in air is 180 meters per second, right? So therefore, distance travel is equal to what? Speed into time, that is equal to 1080 meters, right? So 2x is equal to 1080 meters. So x will be equal to 540 meters. So second wall is at a distance of 540 meters from Sunil, right? The second question asks, what is the distance between the two walls? So we can just add up the distance of Sunil from the first wall and the distance of Sunil from the second wall. So that is 360 meters plus 540 meters. That equals to 900 meters, right? That is a third numerical. It is in the two parts that we have solved right now. Okay. Then let us now talk about extra numerical examples that we are seeing, right? So a person fires a gun standing at a distance of 55 meters from a wall. So a person is standing at a distance of 55 meters from a wall, right? If the speed of sound in air is 330 meters per second, find the time for an echo to be heard. Right, now we have seen the concept of echo where minimum distance between the source of the sound and the surface for reflection should be 17.2 meters. Right, now distance here is definitely 55 meters. This is much more than 17.2. So fine, there is going to be an echo heard. Okay, so let us try to calculate the time required for an echo to be coming back. Okay, so given is distance s equals to 55 meters. Now speed of sound in air is 330 meters per second. We need to calculate time required. So we know speed of sound is equal to distance upon time, right? That is equal to 2s upon t. Now, why have we taken the distance as twice? Because for an echo to be heard, the sound, when the gun is fired, the sound should travel from the gun up to the wall and then back from the wall up to the gun, up to the person back again, right? And the distance between the gun and the wall is 55 meters. So it should be twice of 55 meters, right? The distance traveled by the sound. That is why we are taking 2s. Okay. So therefore, time will be equal to 2s upon v on rearrangement of the formula, right? So 2 into 55 upon 330, that equals to 110 divided by 330, that equals to 0.3 seconds. That means the time for the echo to be heard is 0.3 seconds if the reflecting surface or the wall is at a distance of 55 meters from the source of the sound. Okay. Now let us look at one more extra numerical, right? What does it say? A sound wave has a frequency of 2 kilohertz and a wavelength of 40 centimeters. How long will it take to travel 1.6 kilometers? So they have given you two quantities. First is the frequency, that is 2 kilohertz. So we have written the given wavelength frequency nu equals to 2 kilohertz. As we have discussed earlier, 1 kilohertz is 1000 hertz. So 2 kilohertz will be 2 into 10 raised to 3 hertz, that is 2000 hertz. Okay. Then next, wavelength given lambda equals to 40 centimeters, right? And we know 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So it will be 40 divided by 100 meters, that is equal to 0.4 meters. Okay. Then the distance traveled is 1.6 kilometers. We know 1 meter is 1000, 1 kilometer is 1000 meters, right? So it becomes 1600 meters. We know speed of the sound V equals to frequency nu into wavelength lambda. So V is equal to nu into lambda. That is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 3 hertz multiplied by 0.4 meters. That equals to 2000 into 0.4. That is 800 meters per second. So first of all, we have calculated what? The velocity, right? We need to calculate the time required. First of all, we have calculated the time, sorry, the velocity of the speed, velocity of the sound from the quantities of frequency and wavelength. We got that as 800 meters per second. Then we know the formula. Speed is equal to distance upon time. So we can rearrange that. Time equals to distance upon speed. That equals to 1600 meters divided by 800 meters per second. So it is 2 seconds, right? The time required for that wave of frequency 2 kilohertz and wavelength 40 centimeters to travel 1.6 kilometers is 2 seconds, right? So far here we have observed and completed these many numericals, right? So students have to take screenshots of these numericals so that they can solve them at home, right? Okay. So any student has to ask any question, please you can raise your hand. Yes. Okay. So students have to complete the numericals in the notebook, right? Okay. And if you have any questions, please raise your hands and ask it right now. Okay. Yes. So Mayur sir. Mayur sir, hello.
Hello,
Hello.
sir. Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
चालेल, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. We can conclude the class for today.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, students.